Thanks for joining us here on 9 News Watch. I'm Chris Bianchi. In just a few moments' time, we are going to have an update from the Boulder Fire Department about the early morning fire that impacted 83 different units and 3 different apartment buildings in a complex in downtown Boulder that did lead to 2 minor injuries, neither of which required hospitalization, but we're expecting an update here momentarily from the Boulder Fire Department again about that fire, which was a large fire. It took over 2 hours for the Boulder Fire Department to put out. It started around 3:30 this morning, and it was fully under control by about 5:40 a.m. this morning. Now, currently, the Red Cross is helping some local residents affected by the fire with accommodations, and so we're going to, again, have a bit more on that here in the next few moments. By the way, fire crews are asking people still to avoid the area. We may get an update on that as they work to knock out some hot spots from the fire. So again, that'll be coming up here momentarily. The fire, just for a little bit of context for those of you who may be familiar with the area, was in the 2300 block of Pearl Street. Again, that located right in the heart of downtown Boulder, and this was again that large fire that took place early on this morning. So we're going to go out now. Looks like we're getting close to the press conference here from the Boulder Fire Department, and again, we're going to get an update about that large fire that took place this morning. We'll go out to Boulder right now.
Everybody ready? Yes. I'm gonna look right here, unless anybody tells me otherwise. Anybody not ready? Okay. I'm gonna say we were both awesome. We'll go with that. All right. Good afternoon. My name is Dion Wall. I'm the Boulder Police and Fire PIO, spelled DIONNEWAUGH. At approximately 3:32 this morning, our Police and Fire Communications Center received a call about a fire here in the block of Pearl Street behind me. Units were dispatched at 3:34, and at 3:39, fire and police units were on scene. They encountered an intense fire upon arrival and had it under control at about 5:40 a.m. We are still experiencing hot spots and flare-ups, as you can tell, and police and fire are anticipated to be on scene for the next day or two, working to put out the hot spots. Currently, we do not have any reports of injuries. We did have residents or visitors who jumped from the 2nd and 3rd floor, but right now we don't have any reports of injuries. Police and fire are working together to find and identify everyone who lives here, or anyone who was staying here. We would like to speak with you. So if you live here or if you have stayed here, please call Boulder Police Detective Ramos at 303-710-6039. Right now, because we are still working to put out hotspots, we have several of the buildings that have partial collapses, so it's unsafe for firefighters or anyone else to enter these structures right now. We have multiple agencies on scene who are assisting us with this fire and this investigation, to include Boulder Fire Rescue, Boulder Police, CUPD, the Sheriff's Office, Boulder Emergency Squad, Mountain View Fire, Louisville Fire, Boulder Rural, as well as the ATF. We would just ask for the public's patience right now, as we know the roads are shut down and we're still investigating and working to put out the fire right now. So I will take some questions. Sir.
First, you easily talk about fire officials still trying to put out some of those hot spots in the buildings. Which buildings are those? Because I think when you all first sent it out this morning, it was 3 buildings that were involved, but it were like 2 of them that were, the flames were so intense you couldn't send crews in at that time. So are those the 2 that you're kind of worried about with those structure collapses right now?
Well, right now, kind of the middle buildings behind me, you can see the collapse kind of in the middle. And as I walked up just about 20 minutes ago, you could see there were flare-ups on the other side of it. So it kind of depends, but in the center of these buildings is where we're still seeing a lot of the hot spots.
Where did it start and what was the cause? Do you know yet?
Fire investigators are still working to determine the cause, and that could take a serious amount of time. Because they haven't even been able to get into any of these buildings to do what they need to do. I will say we have 17 fire units on scene and 51 firefighters who are working to put out all aspects of this fire.
Were fire alarms working, smoke alarms?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. I will check and see.
I spoke to one of the residents who spoke to several residents in that area said that if it wasn't for her being a light sleeper, she wouldn't have woken up at all, and they may have got caught inside and maybe not made it out alive. She said nobody on her side of the building heard any alarms go off.
No sprinklers either.
I would have to check on that. I don't have that information in front of me, but I will check on that and I can find out for you. I will say that the investigation is still ongoing. The fire started, literally it was less than 12 hours ago, so it does take time to investigate. They still haven't been able to get into the building to learn more.
Dion, do you think there are any city ordinances that require firewalls in these types of buildings, or would these structures be grandfathered in to allow them to not have firewalls? I don't know what the ordinances are.
For this specific location, I'm going to have to double check because I don't want to tell you the wrong thing, so I will double check and I will get back to you.
What do you think the most challenging aspect of fighting the fire was at this point? What can you gather from the firefight?
Well, right now, as you can see, when I think a lot of you have seen pictures, there were a lot of pictures, a lot of video that people posted when we got here. It was an incredibly intense fire. There were flames. It was very, it was throughout several of these structures. So we had multiple structures, multiple floors. And so just getting that out initially was probably the biggest challenge. And right now it's trying to get all of the hot spots out and keep those out to then continue into the next phase to search and see, to determine exactly what happened here today.
Has Boulder Fire received any reports of the smell of gas in the days leading up to this?
I don't know. I can check.
Is it suspicious at all?
Right now, we don't know the cause or origin right now. As soon as we're able to kind of get in there and find more information, we can try and determine exactly what happened.
What's the estimated damage caused here?
Given the number of buildings, I would say the damage right now is a lot, but I don't have an actual number because it'll depend once the fire is actually out and people can get in and see what's inside.
You all say 83 units. Do you all have an estimate of how many people, rather?
Don't know the number of people. That's why we are asking, if you have not spoken to a Boulder police officer and you live here or you visited here, you stayed here at any time, please call Detective Ramos. We want to talk and want to make sure we've identified everybody who lives here or has stayed here.
Does that make it more complicated? These are individually owned, some are Airbnb, some are vacation rentals, some are actual homes. Is that making your job more difficult?
I would say that because these are several buildings and a large number of units, it does make our job more difficult, because we also want to make sure that we contact everybody who lived here who was visiting here. Some people ran out. Some people have gone to the police department, talked to the detective. Others just ran out, went to a friend's house, and have come back ever since then. So everybody reacted differently, and we just want to make sure that everybody is as okay as they can possibly be after this tragic event.
Are you able to say how many units total are here? I know you say 83 impacted, but how many in this entire complex?
It's 83 units in the entire complex.
So
All of
Has
them.
everyone been accounted for, or are there any reports of people missing or question marks?
We're still working to account for everybody. So that's why we're asking if you live here, if you've stayed here, if you visited here, please give Detective Ramos a call. If you've not spoken to anyone at Boulder Police, we want to talk to you. That's how we're systematically making sure that we account for everybody.
But I guess to be more specific, has anyone said, hey, my mom lives there and I haven't heard from her, or my sister or my brother? Have there been any phone calls like that to you guys?
I don't know. That's why we're still having people come to the PD and we're still interviewing them and literally making a list. So I hope I will. When I do have more information, I can definitely let you know that because we anticipate having more of that soon.
I know firefighters are putting out hotspots and flare-ups. I saw them breaking some of the windows. What are they looking for right now?
They're just trying to clear it and make sure that there's no fire with hiding within different locations. They have been on scene for going on almost 12 hours now, and there are still flames and hot spots in there. So it does take a lot of time, and they will continue to be on scene throughout the rest of today and tomorrow because of the large scale of this fire.
No pets or harmed so far.
We don't know. We haven't been able to really get inside any of these buildings.
So there's still a possibility someone could have been injured.
We don't know. Yes.
What is Detective Ramos's first name?
Sharon.
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 And for anyone that wants to call the residents that are affected by this, where should they go? Is there a page or a GoFundMe set up so that residents can
We would ask residents to donate to the Red Cross. We are working, that's one of the partners, I'm sorry, I forgot them. The Red Cross is doing a wonderful job assisting us, especially at the PD, in providing vouchers for people and getting them food and clothing and that type of thing. We would encourage people only to donate to sites like that, like the Red Cross.
Are you planning on holding another news conference later this evening or tomorrow?
Yes, I think we will be holding another news conference as soon as we have another update. It will probably be tomorrow unless there is something else that breaks tonight. And we will give you plenty of notice if we do.
You said 83 units over how many buildings?
83 units. I don't know the number of six buildings. I just know 83 units.
Yeah, and I just want to make clear that because in the reporting, we're going to say that you don't know if there are people missing or unaccounted for. That's a line we're going to use. Would that be a fair thing to say in our reporting? Yet there could be someone missing, but you don't know that. That's why you're asking for people to call and say that you live here and know something.
That is accurate. We would say if you live here, if you've stayed here, and you have not talked to a Boulder police officer, please call Detective Ramos and talk to us because we are still compiling that list to make sure we want to account for everybody. So that is accurate to say.
Understanding it's not safe to go in the building. Any chance of getting any of the vehicles out?
It's the buildings are not safe for anybody to go into. If you have a vehicle, I would advise you to talk to one of the police officers on scene to see, depending on the location. It would depend on the location.
how long should people expect these closures within this area?
People should expect these road closures along Pearl Street and the back street too, at least through today, probably through tomorrow. Firefighters going to remain on scene as well as law enforcement. Out of an abundance of caution, they want to make sure the fire is 100% out, and then more of the investigation will continue to determine exactly what the cause was. And
And fire investigators are on scene right now.
yep. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Dion.